Hello my friends, thank you once again for tuning in to one of these Sonic Prime figure reviews. This one is 9, or as the card calls him, Tails 9. Boasting a whopping 70 points of articulation. This is because every single one of his tails is individually jointed at each mechanical joint. A little bit overly ambitious, Jax. I would have been satisfied if, like, the base and one of the other ones was okay. But, like, you did every single one. A loner by choice, Tails 9 has an edge to him due to his years of honing his survivor's instinct. And that's kind of the theme of Sonic Prime. Like, each of the Shatterverses has, like, what I'm going to call a main alternate. Where, like, you can see most clearly, like, a single personality aspect that a Sonic character has, and then, like, that thing is pushed all the way up while everything else is suppressed. So Tails has his mechanical genius intact. 9 has Tails' mechanical genius, but since he never befriended Sonic, he kind of grew up as a nihilistic loner who never had anybody to rely on or care for, or to care about him. So, wow, like, yeah, there is a wrist joint in there. There we go. I noticed that the elbow, the bicep swivel was a little bit off, but the wrist is really tight on this figure. So, yeah, like, we're seeing a Tails figure, like this is what Tails might have become if Sonic didn't protect him from the bullies as a child. And, you know, we also get that in the other ones. Like, in the Boss Cage Maze, Thorn Rose would be the main one. She has all of Amy's care for the environment, but without her loyalty to her friends, so we see her kind of go all rogue environmental terrorist on them. And in the Nowhere Sea, Knuckles is the main guy in that universe. We see, like, he has his obsession over protecting and hoarding his treasure, but without the nobility of a guardian, so he just kind of becomes a turncoat pirate. And unfortunately, there isn't a Shatterverse that specifically to showcase Rouge's character. Although I guess Rebel the Bat from New Yoke it kind of shows how, like, she's, like, without a Sonic, she's kind of the one that takes charge, and she sort of becomes, you know, Princess Sally. Like, Rouge, like Rebel the Bat is probably the closest thing we're going to get to a modern Princess Sally in a cartoon made these days, and I kind of love that fact. But, you know, like, I guess all the new Yokers kind of have the most development because we spend the most time in that particular Shatterverse. Maybe a third season will flesh the others out, but yeah, that's kind of how it is. So yeah, 9 here. Just like with the Sonic figure, all the details are very immaculate. You even have the sculpted in fur. You got, even on the tails you see it, so all the sculpt is on point. The details are great. The only thing I would say is a negative in terms of how it looks is that on the card, it looked like these would be silver, but they're actually just the regular plastic gray. I guess they spent all the budget making all those joints. There wasn't anything left to actually, you know, paint them. So he also has a pin disc head, just like the Sonic figure had. So he has a capability of looking up and down and all around. Universal shoulders, those same pseudo, I'm going to call them pseudo Figma joints. So he has all the same articulation in the limbs that Sonic had. Although sometimes you gotta figure out which way they bend. Yeah, like, gotta be careful the first time so you can figure out which way they bend. Otherwise, you might accidentally snap them. That is the biggest piece of advice I can give you. Even though he's wearing pants, they're like figuring out which way the legs go. The pants kind of add a little bit of bulk to his sculpt and affect how much range you can get out of his hips. Oh, there we go. Ball joint. Ball jointed hips. A Sonic figure with ball jointed hips. I thought I was the only one that did that. Huh. I thought that I was the only one that did that when I converted Mega Construx figures. And he has a knee bend, but the sculpt of the pants gets kind of in the way, so his knee is a little more shallow. He has a ball jointed ankle, so you can like get a wide footed stance. And then you can brace him with his mechanical tails, because by themselves, like, he is going to be top heavy. Ironically, we got a Tails that's top heavy, when that character doesn't normally have to worry about top heaviness. And then, wow, look at all that. There's a... Let's look at just one tail. I heard that there were some QC issues with like stressed plastic and snapping happening with these. Zach told me the first 9 that he bought, like he had a crack happen down here, which made his tails really limp. But yeah, he got a ball joint there, got a double ball joint at the next part, double ball joint at the next part, double ball joint at the next part, and then a swivel here, which I think is just another ball joint because this does also wiggle. So yeah, like every single one of those, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 per tail, 7 tails. That's 56 joints just in the tails by themselves. Wait, is my math right? I don't want to sound like an idiot. So 8 times 6 is... 8 times 5 is 40. So 48 is times 6. Yeah, 56. I was right, 56. Although the tails don't actually rotate... his main 2 tails do rotate. They're on a ball joint, but you can't really do the thing where like whenever Tails was just walking normally, all of the other tails would kind of wrap around his 2 real tails and become like one big tail. So like because these 2 don't move anything other than their swivel, you can't really do that. Like you can kind of clump everything up back there, but all it's going to do is make the figure fall backwards. But you can do his Dr. Octopus thing where like you have the tails like some of them can come up to be his front manipulators and others can go behind to do his walking for him. So like you can totally, like as long as you put at least 1 or 2 back there to brace him for standing, then the other 5 are free to do whatever you want. Like I like to pretend he keeps 1 behind his head to like protect him from getting hit from behind. Then he has like the actual manipulator tails, like these 2 up by his shoulders can do typing on the computer, and then these down here will do punching if he has to fight. And then we do see that he basically uses 4 of them to walk when he wants to like flex his like, hey, look at me, I don't need to actually walk, I have mechanical tails to do that for me. But yeah, like his personality is really captured in his expression. He looks really angry with that frown and his eyebrows. So yeah, like really, really great. Like this figure, like all of these joints, like they terrify me if one of them might accidentally snap or break. But you cannot really, and his legs don't have the same kind of range that the Sonic figures did. So you can't really get any extreme running poses with this guy like you could with the Sonic figure. But aside from that, the figure is just amazing. He looks fantastic. And it's just a really great overall experience. Like, it's a fantastic figure. For a quick comparison, here is the proper Tails from the 4-inch line. As you can see, he is significantly bigger because he's 5-inch scaled instead of 4-inch scaled. And I will bring in the Sonic figure real quick so you can see he is properly height scaled to his own line. So we don't have a Tails that's too tall. He is the proper height compared to what he should be. So yeah, Tails 9. All those tail joints are terrifying to me, but can't argue with the look. It's an amazing looking figure. It's just an amazing figure. So yeah, I would easily recommend Tails 9 from this particular little toy series. So yeah, Wake Angels 2001 signing off once again. But stay tuned for the next figure.